Hello viewers, welcome to May-June 2019 WAEC, also known as WASSCE, past questions and detailed solution, general mathematics, mathematics core paper 2 part 2. This part contains questions 6 to 13. That is about 8 questions. You are to answer 5 questions in this part. Solution to 8 questions in one video. Question 6a. The force of attraction F between two bodies varies directly as the product of their masses m1, m2, and inversely as the square of the distance d between them. Given that F is equal to 20 Newton, m1 is 25 kilogram, m2 is 10 kilogram, and the distance d equal to 5 meters, find Roman figure 1 an expression for F in terms of m1, m2, and d. Roman figure 2, the distance d when the force is 30 Newton, the first mass 7.5 kilogram, the second mass is 4 kilogram. Solution: the force varies directly as the product of the masses m1 and m2, that is the numerator, and inversely as the square of the distance, that is the denominator. In variation, we always do away with the symbol of variation. As you are doing that, you introduce the constant of variation k or c, and you have it in this form. The reason why the force, the two masses, and the distance are given to you first is to enable you find k in order to establish the formula that connects the force, masses, and the distance. So F is 20 equal to k times the first mass 25 times the second mass 10 over the distance 5, but you have 5 squared because d is squared in the problem. 5 squared is 25 and it removes 5 squared. 5 squared 25, it removes 25. You are left with 20 equal to 10k. Divide through by 10, k is equal to 2. Remember figure 1, an expression for F in terms of m1, m2, and d is simply displaced and replacing k with 2. So this is the expression. That is the expression. Roman figure 2, you are asked to find distance when the force is 30 Newton, the two masses are 7.5 and 4 kilogram respectively. So you write the equation that connects the 4 variables and you replace them with what they stand for, except for d that you are looking for. If you clear fractions, you simply multiply 30 by d square and you have 30d squared. If you multiply the numerator, you have 60. You have 60. If you divide through by 30, d squared is equal to 2 and d is equal to the square root of 2 meters. 6b, you have this diagram and you are asked to find the value of s. Diagram is a pentagon, and a regular pentagon has the sum of angles to be 540 degrees. So if you add all the angles in the figure, you equate it to 540 degrees. If you add all the s, you have 5s, and the angles you have plus 200 degrees equal to 540 degrees. If you collect like terms, you have 5s equal to 540 degrees minus 200 degrees, and 5s is equal to 340 degrees. To get s, divide both sides by 5, and s is equal to 68 degrees. Question 7. The data show the marks obtained by students in a biology test. You have the data arranged in rows and column. A part of the question: construct a frequency distribution table using the class interval 0 to 9, 10 to 19, 20 to 29, and so on. B. Draw a cumulative frequency curve for the distribution. C. Use the graph to estimate the following. Roman figure 1, median. Roman figure 2, percentage of students who scored at least 66 marks correct to the nearest whole number. So let's take the solution. A part is to construct a frequency table. Now we have the class interval 0 to 9, 10 to 19, 20 to 29 as the sample given in the question. If you look at the data set, you have 92 is there. I'm seeing 92. That means you continue the data set to 90 to 99. There is also 96. So if you look at the last data, it guides you to know how many class interval to be added, because you must ensure that the highest data is accommodated. All right. Tally is the stroke representation of frequency. To get the frequency easily, you use tally. Now let me illustrate one. Let's use the first column to illustrate. Use your pencil. If you strike off 52, you come here and record it with one stroke. You strike off 20, you record it in this class interval. You strike off 36, you record it here. You strike off 92, you record it here. You strike off 15 and you record it here. You do that for all the columns. That will give tally. Now you must know that a bundle of tally contains 5 strokes. You have 4, the fifth one cross the 4 together. That is 5. So this one stroke means one frequency. 3 strokes is 3. The next 3 is also 3. This is 5 and 1. That is 6. You have 5 and 3 is 8. You have 5, 5, 2. That is 12. 5, 1 is 6. This is 3. You have 4 and you have 4. In order to plot the cumulative frequency curve, you need to add 2 other columns to the table, and that is frequency, cumulative frequency, and class boundary. For cumulative frequency is simply the addition of all the frequency, where you start with the first frequency as 1 plus the second 3 gives 4, plus the next one 3 is 7, plus the next one 6 is 13, plus the next one 8, you have 21, plus the next one 12, you have 33, plus the next one 6, you have 39, plus the next one 3, you have 42, plus the next one 4, you have 46, plus the next one 4 again, you have 50. This is how you obtain the cumulative frequency. For the class boundary, what you must obtain first is the boundary value. The boundary value is difference in adjacent side divided by 2. You can take 10 and 9. You can take 20 and 19. You can take 30 and 29. The difference is always 1. If you divide it by 2, you have 0.5. Because the first class lower limit is 0, we also have 0 here. For the subsequent lower class boundary, you subtract the boundary value from the lower class limit. You subtract the boundary value from the lower class limit to get the lower class boundary. So 10 minus 0.5, you have 9.5. If you jump to 90 minus 0.5, you have 89.5. Then for the upper class boundary, you add the boundary value to the upper class limit. So you have 9 plus 0.5, you have 9.5, this 9.5 here. Now let's take 39 plus 0.5, you have 39.5. Let's take 89 plus 0.5, you have 89.5. So this is how you obtain the class boundary. B part of the question is the construction of the cumulative curve, and what we need is cumulative frequency against upper class boundary. So you have all the upper class boundary here from 9.5 to 99.5. The scale used on the cumulative frequency axis is 1 centimeter to 5 units, which means one line is 1 centimeter. And on the upper class boundary axis, there's no special scale. You start from the first upper class boundary 9.5 till the last one 99.5. And what you must note here is that the difference is 10 all through. You have 10, 10, 10. So if it is 10, 10, 10, from here to here, let's take it from 9.5 to 19.5. If it is 10, it means that one line is 2. So you have 9.5, 11.5, 30.5, and so on. So the first point is 1 against 9.5. Somewhere here is 1. One line is 1 unit on the vertical axis. 4 is 19.5. 7 is 29.5. You have 13 is 39.5. You have 21, 49.5. 33 is 59.5. You have 39, 69.5. 42, 79.5. 46, 89.5. 50 is 99.5. What you must note is that if you plot it correctly, you always have S shape for the cumulative frequency curve, and that is traceable from the one I just plotted. So next thing is to join the points together. you can say that all the points have been joined together and that S shape is traceable. So let's move to the C part of the question. Use the graph to estimate median. Now median is half of the total frequency. That is half of 50, and that is 25 position of cumulative frequency. So you come here, this is cumulative this is the axis for cumulative frequency, and you mark 25, you trace it to the curve. This is the point of intersection, and you trace to the upper class boundary axis, and you have this point. Remember that one line here is 2, so after 49.5 you have 51.5 and 53.5. To the nearest whole number, you have 54 as the median. Roman figure 2, percentage of students who scored at least 66 marks. Now if you go to the table and you count 66 and above, that means those are scored between 66 to 99. They are 13 in number. So you have 13 over total frequency, 50 times 100, and that is 26%. So 26% of the students scored at least 66 marks. Petakus simplified maths. If you are viewing and watching from YouTube, don't forget to subscribe for more updates from time to time. Like and share PSM videos. If you are viewing and watching from Facebook, follow and like the page for more updates as well. Like and share PSM videos. Question 8. Solve the inequality 1 over 3 times s minus 1 over 4 times bracket open s plus 2 bracket close greater than or equal to 3s minus 1 whole number 1 over 3. Solution. We quickly change this mixed fraction to improper fraction, and that is 4 over 5. Multiply through by the LCM of 12 to clear fractions. If you multiply the first term by 12, divide 12 by 3 is 4. 4 times 1s, you have 4s minus. If you multiply the second term by 12, you have 3 bracket open s plus 2 bracket close. If you multiply 3s by 12, you have 36s, and you multiply this by 12, you are left with 4 times 4. So let's open this bracket. So you have 4s minus 3s minus 6 minus 3 times plus 2 is minus 6 greater than or equal to 36 minus 16. So let's add the like terms before collection. So 4s minus 3s, you have s minus 6 greater than or equal to 36s minus 16. Collect like terms, you have minus 6 plus 16 greater than or equal to 36 minus s, and that is 10 greater than or equal to 35. Divide both sides by 35, you have 10 over 35 greater than or equal to s. If you wish to have s on the left hand side, as you interchange the position of 10 over 35 and s, the symbol of inequality also changes. So therefore s is less than or equal to 10 over 35. And when you divide through by 5, you have 2 over 7. Question 8b. In the diagram, ABC is a right-angled triangle on a horizontal ground. AD is a vertical tower. Angle BAD is equal to 90 degrees. Angle ACB 35 degrees, and angle ABD 52 degrees, and BC is 66 meters. Find correct to 2 decimal places. Figure 1, the height of the tower. Figure 2, the angle of elevation of the top of the tower from C. From this point, you get the angle of elevation. Solution. Roman figure 1, the height of the tower is AD. AD is the height. In triangle BAD, AB is needed, so you have to get this side before you can find the height of the tower. So that triangle is right angle triangle, which means BC is hypotenuse, that is the longest side, and AB, that is facing this angle here, is opposite. So with 35 and 66, you get AB. Use this sign. So sine 35 degrees is equal to AB, opposite, over hypotenuse 66. To get AB, if you clear the fraction, you have AB equal to 66 times sine 35 degrees. If you multiply, you have 37.856 meters. Now that we know AB, we cannot get AD by considering triangle BAD. The question stated that angle BAD is 90. That means triangle BAD is also a right angle triangle, where this AD is the opposite, that is facing 52, and AB is adjacent. We must use tangent. So tan 52 degrees is equal to opposite AD over adjacent 37.856. To get AD, you simply cross multiply, where you have AD equal to 37.856 times tan 52 degrees. If you check that tan and multiply by the coefficient, you have 48.4534. To 2 decimal places, the height of the tower AD is approximately 48.45 meters. Roman figure 2 of B, the angle of elevation of the top of the tower from C. This is the entire angle. So part of it is 35 degrees. So we need angle ACD to add to 35. Now to get angle ACD, we need to get AC, because we already know AD, the height. If we get AC, we can get the other angle. So AC is needed first. So if we look at triangle BAC, we have cos 45 degrees is equal to AC. From here now, using this angle, AB is opposite, AC adjacent, and BC is hypotenuse. So you have adjacent is AC over hypotenuse 66. So AC is equal to 66 times cos 35 degrees, and that is 54.064 meters. So we know AC. To get ACD, we are now considering AC with AD, AC with AC, AC with AD. So AC is the adjacent while AD is the opposite, considering triangle ACD. So tan of the angle ACD is equal to opposite AD, the height of the tower, over adjacent AC. So you have the two values, and when you divide, you have 0.8962. To get angle ACD, you check the inverse of tangent of this value. That is, angle ACD is equal to inverse of tan or arctan of 0.8962, and that gives 41.87 degree. Therefore, angle of elevation of the tower from C is 35 degrees plus 41.87 degrees, and that is 76.87 degrees. Question 9a. Copy and complete the table of values for y equal to 2 cos s plus 3 sin s for 0 degrees less than equal to s less than equal to 360 degrees. From the table of values, the interval is simply 60 degrees, although it is still stated in the scale, and you have s values with some missing y values. Of course, you are expected to get them. B part of the question, using a scale of 2 cm to 60 degrees on the x-axis and 2 cm to 1 unit on the y-axis, draw the graph of y equal to 2 cos s plus 3 sin s over the range of values of s. C part of the question, use the graph to solve. Figure 1, 2 cos s plus 3 sin s equal to minus 1. Figure 2, find correct to 1 decimal place the value of y when s is 342 degrees. Solution. A part of the question is to complete the table of values for the relation over the range of values of s, and to do that you simply need to compute 2 cos s and 3 sin s. You add the values together and you get y value. So when s is 0, cos 0 is 1. 1 times these 2 here, you have 2. When s is 60 degrees, cos 0 degrees is 0.5 times these 2, you have 1.0, and so on. Then you look for sine. When s is 0 degrees, sine 0 degrees is 0. 0 times 3, you have 0. If you check sine 0 degrees and multiply the result by 3, you have 2.6. If you check sine 300 degrees and multiply the result by 3, you have minus 2.6. We always try to maintain one decimal place. To get y value, you need to add. So if you add 2 to 0, you have 2.0. If you add 1 to 2.6, you have 3.6. If you add minus 1 to 2.6, you have 1.6. If you add these values, you get this. You add these values, you get minus 3.6. You add these values, supposed to have minus 1.6. So if you add the values under 300 degrees, you have minus 1.6. And if you add these two, you have 2.0 degrees. We move to B part, where you are asked to plot the graph. B part of the question. So let's start with the scale. 2 centimeters to 60 degrees on the x-axis and 2 cm to 1 unit on the y-axis. The scale implies that on the x-axis, one line is 6 degrees, and on the y-axis, one line is 0.1. Now you have the two axes here, x and y. On the y-axis, 2 cm is 1 unit. Now this graph you have here, each box or square contains 5 lines, which is 1 cm. So if you combine 2 of it, you give it 1. The next 2 is 2. The next 2 is 3. If you go down, you have negative values. On the y-axis, if you combine 2 boxes, you give it 60 degrees. The next 2 becomes 120. The next 2 is 180 till you get to 360 degrees. Next thing is to plot the points. When x is 0 degrees, y is 2. You plot that point directly on the y-axis. When x is 0 degrees, y is 3.6. Now this is 3 because one line is 0.1. After 3, you count about 6 lines upward, and you have 3.6 somewhere here against 60 degrees. When x is 120 degrees, y is 1.6. So somewhere here is 1.6. When s is 180 degrees, y is minus 2. You have minus 2 here. When s is 240 degrees, y is minus 3.6. Here is minus 3.6. When s is 300 degrees, y is minus 1.6. That is what you have here. And when s is 360 degrees, y is 2. You have it this point. Now don't forget the title of the graph. The title of the graph is simply the equation or function or relation that you are plotting. Next is to join the points together and answer part C of the question. All the points have been joined together, as you can see. C part of the question: solve 2 cos s plus 3 sin s equal to minus 1. If you check the left hand side of the equation, is the same as the one that you have plotted, so you don't need any other adjustment. The whole of this side is equal to y. That means the solution of the equation occurs at y equal to minus 1. You go to the y-axis and you locate minus 1 somewhere here, and you trace it across the curve, and you have 2 points of intersection. One point is here, another point is here. Remember earlier I stated that on the x-axis one line is 6 degrees. Now from 120 degrees, if you count to this place that the line falls on, you have 162 degrees. And when you count from 300, you have 312 degrees as the solution of the equation. Roman figure 2, find correct to one decimal place the value of y when s is 342 degrees. So you, after 300, you locate 342 degrees by counting it one line after the other. From 300 you have 306, you have 312, 318 and so on. So 342 is somewhere here. You trace it to meet the curve at this point, and you trace to y-axis, and in that, yes, you trace to y-axis. From 342 you trace it to meet the curve. Now if you trace downward, it cannot meet the curve, so wisdom demands that you trace it upward to meet the curve. And when you trace to y-axis, notice that on the y-axis one line is 0.1, you have 0.7 for y when s is 342 degrees. Petakus simplified maths. If you are watching and viewing from YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to get more updates from time to time. Like and share PSM videos. If you are watching and viewing from Facebook, follow and like the page to get updates as well. Share PSM videos. Question 10. A woman bought 130 kilograms of tomatoes for 52,000 naira. She sold half of the tomatoes at a profit of 30%. The rest of the tomatoes began to go bad. She then reduced the selling price per kg by 12%. Calculate A part of the question. The new selling price per kg. B, the percentage profit on the entire sales if she threw away 5 kilograms of bad tomatoes. Solution. Before you can get the new selling price, it means there was an old selling price. So you get it with the information about the cost price of the half of the tomatoes alongside with the percentage profit. So weight of full tomatoes 130 kilogram. Weight of half tomatoes, you divide the full weight by 2 and you have 65 kilogram. 130 kilogram, this is the full weight of tomatoes. The cost is 52,000 naira. Then half of it, that is 65 kilogram, will cost the full weight divided by 2 and you have 26,000 naira. 30% profit for selling half of the tomatoes. So with this you can get selling price. Percentage profit is equal to selling price minus cost price over cost price times 100. The profit in percent is 30. If you convert from percent, you have 30 over 100. This conversion has removed working with this 100. You have selling price minus cost price over cost price. If you reduce this by 10, you have 3 over 10 equal to the right hand side. If you cross multiply, you have this result. Instead of multiplying the right hand side to have very large values, you can simply divide through by 10. So this 0 removes 1 0 from here, so you are left with 2,600 times 3, that is 7,800, equal to selling price minus 26,000. In collect terms, you have this result. Therefore, selling price is equal to 33,800. Selling price per kg. So you divide that value by 65 and you have 520 per kg. The seller reduced this selling price by 12%. By 12%. So you calculate 12% of 520 in this form, and that gives 62.40 per kg. That is 62 naira 40 kobo per kg. So the new selling price is removing the 12% reduction from the old selling price. That is 520 minus 62.40, and that is 457 naira 40 kobo as the new selling price. This selling price is per kg, that is 1 kg. B part of the question, you have to look for the percentage profit for the entire sales. From the beginning to this point, the entire sales was 65 kilogram. At this point, she threw away 5 kilogram, so you are left with 60 kilogram. Selling price for the entire 60 kilogram becomes 60 times selling price for 1 kg, that is 457.40, and that gives 27,456 naira. This is for the 60 kilogram. Now the entire selling price, you have the selling price for the 65 kilogram and the 60 kilogram, and that is 256 naira. Already you know the cost for the half now. The cost is 52000. So percentage profit is this. You replace the selling price, the cost price with their respective values, and you multiply by 100 in this form. If you subtract, you have this times 100. If you multiply and divide, you have 17.8% to 3SF as the percentage profit for the entire sales of the tomatoes after throwing away about 5 kilogram of bad tomatoes. Question 11a. The third and sixth terms of a geometric progression are 1/4 and 1/32 respectively. Find Roman figure 1, the first term and the common ratio. Roman figure 2, the seventh term of the geometric progression. This question centers around the nth term formula of a GP, and this is the formula. From the question, the third term t sub 3 is equal to 1/4. At the third term, n is equal to 3. So you have t sub 3 is equal to first term a times common ratio r to the power of n. Now n is 3 minus 1. The third term is 1 over 4 equal to a r square if you subtract 3 and 1. If you cross multiply, you have 1 equal to 4a r square. You call that equation 1. The sixth term, t sub 6, is equal to 1 over 32. At the sixth term, n is equal to 6. So you have t sub 6 is equal to first term a times common ratio r to the power of n. N here is 6 minus 1. So the sixth term is 1 over 32 equal to a times the common ratio to the power of 5. So if you cross multiply, you have 1 equal to 32a times common ratio to the power of 5. That is 32a r power 5. You call that equation 2. Now if you check both equations, their left hand side are equal. You have 1 and 1. This implies that the right hand side are also equal. So you have 4a r squared is equal to 32a r to the power of 5. You can divide through by 4a r squared. 4a r squared is common. If you divide through by 4a r squared, you have 1 equal to 8 r cubed. Divide through by 8 to get r cubed first. So r cubed is 1 over 8. To get r, you take the cube root of both sides in this form, and r is 1 over 2. To get the first term a, you simply replace r with 1 over 2 in any of the equations. I'm using equation 1. That equation is 1 equal to 4a r squared. So you replace r with 1 over 2 and you square it, and that gives 1 equal to 4a times 1 over 4. So 4, we simply remove 4 and you have 1 equal to a. Therefore, a is equal to 1. Roman figure 1, the first term is equal to 1. The common ratio 1 over 2. Roman figure 2, you have to find the seventh term. That is t sub 7 is unknown. At this point, n is equal to 7. So you use the nth term formula. T sub 7 is equal to first term, that is 1, times common ratio 1 over 2 to the power of n, that is 7 minus 1. So you have 1 over 2 to the power of 6. Power of 6 affects both 1 and 2. So 1 power 6 is 1 and 2 power 6 is 64. So the seventh term of this geometric progression is 1 over 64. Question 11b. Given that 2 and minus 3 are the roots of the equation as squared plus bs plus c equal to 0, find the value of a, b, and c. What you need to do here is to form an equation using the roots 2 and minus 3. You compare it with this for you to get a, b, and c. Such equation can be formed using the simple rule s squared minus sum of roots times s plus product of roots equal to 0. So this is sum of roots 2 plus minus 3, then times s. You have the product of roots and you equate it to 0. So you have s squared minus. So 2 plus minus 3 means 2 minus 3, and that is minus 1 times s plus minus 6 as the product of roots. If you open the bracket, minus 1 is plus 1 times s is s. So you have s squared plus s minus 6 equal to 0. If you compare this equation with as squared plus bs plus c equal to 0, you will see that a is the coefficient of s squared, so a is equal to 1. B is the coefficient of s, b is equal to 1. C is the constant term, the term without s, and c is equal to minus 6. Question 12a. Given that sine y is equal to 8 over 17, find the value of tan y over 1 plus 2 tan y. Solution. You should note that tan is expressed as the ratio of opposite to adjacent, while sine is opposite to hypotenuse. It therefore means that the adjacent is needed before you can evaluate this term. So solution. The information about sine will be used to obtain adjacent. So you draw a right angle triangle with the acute angle as y. So AB becomes opposite, while AC is the hypotenuse. So you have 17. Opposite is 8. By Pythagoras rule, you can get the adjacent by stating the rule. That is AS squared for the hypotenuse equal to AB squared opposite plus BC squared adjacent. So you have 17 squared equal to 8 squared plus BC squared. If you simplify, you have this. You collect like terms, you have this. If you subtract, you have this. To get BC, you have to take the square root of both sides. So BC is equal to square root of 225, and that is 15. Now let's get tan y. Tan y is opposite over adjacent. That is 8 over 15. Let's get 2 tan y. Multiply 8 over 15 by 2, and you have 16 over 15. Let's get 1 plus 2 tan y. That is what you have here. If you simplify, you write 1 as 1 over 1. You find the LCM for 15. The LCM of 1 and 15 is 15. So you have this result. When you add, you have 31 over 15. You can now look for the whole term. Now the numerator is 8 over 15. Because both parts are fractional, let's use division sign in place of division line, and you have the denominator 31 over 15. And as you know, anytime you are dividing fractions, division sign changes to multiplication, and the fraction at the right side of the sign is inverted. So you have 8 over 15 times 15 over 31. 15 removes 15, and you have 8 over 31 as the value of tan y over 1 plus 2 tan y if sin y is equal to 8 over 17. Question 13a. In the diagram, arrow S and arrow T are tangents to the circle with center O. Angle TUS is equal to 68 degrees. Angle S arrow T is equal to S. Angle UTO is equal to Y. Find the value of S. Solution: to get the value of S, you just need this angle, you need this angle, and you need this angle. If you add the 4 angles, the sum is 360 degrees. Sum of angles in a quadrilateral. Now, angle arrow TO, that is this angle, is equal to this angle, and the value is 90 degrees because arrow T and arrow S, they are tangents. TO and SO are radii. That is radius perpendicular to tangent. Now, obtuse angle TOS, that is this angle. One is obtuse, the other one is reflex. We are interested in the obtuse angle. That angle is equal to 2 times angle TUS. Angle at center is equal to 2 times angle at circumference. So angle TOS is equal to 2 times 68 degrees, and that is 136 degrees. In that figure, if you add the 4 angles, the sum is 360 degrees. That is 90 degrees plus 90 degrees plus 136 degrees plus S equal to 360 degrees. If you add the 3 angles first, you have 316 degrees plus S equal to 360 degrees. If you collect like terms, you have S equal to this, and that is 44 degrees. Question 13b. 2 tanks A and B are filled to capacity with diesel. Tank A holds 600 liters of diesel more than tank B. If 100 liters of diesel was pumped out of each tank, tank A will contain 3 liters as much diesel as tank B. Find the capacity of each tank. From the question, tank A holds more than tank B, and the value there is by 600. So you have to start with knowing the capacity of tank B and let it be S liters. Since tank A holds more diesel than tank B by 600, it means capacity of tank A is equal to S plus 600 liters. If 100 liters is pumped out, that is removed from tank A, what will be remaining is S plus 600 minus 100. The same amount is removed from tank B, but after that, tank A will contain 3 liters as much, that is 3 times tank B. So you have this expression. You open the brackets and simplify. You have S plus 600 minus 100 equal to 3S minus 300. You simplify the left hand side. You have 500. If you transfer this term in, it becomes plus 300. 3S is here. You transfer this S, you have minus S. If you add and subtract, you have 800 equal to 2S. To get S, divide both sides by 2, and S is equal to 400 liters. So therefore, capacity of tank B is 400 liters, and capacity of tank A is 400 plus 600, and that is 1000 liters. To end this paper, there is every need for you to be saved if you are not. And to be saved, you just have to give your life to the Lord Jesus Christ and confess Him as your Lord and personal Savior. If you are saved already, congratulations. Live righteously and be prepared, because on the last day some will be taken and some will be left. Take good care of yourself. Stay out of trouble. Study your books. Do the needful at all times. Flee every appearance of evil. Don't defraud others to make money. Use your hands and your brain to work genuinely and legally, and the Lord will bless you. Goodbye and stay tuned.